الحمد لله رب العالمين وأفضل الصلاة وأتم التسليم على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا محمد الصادق الأمين المبعوث رحمة للعالمين وعلى آله الطاهرين الطيبين وعلى أصحابه أجمعين وعلى أزواجه أمهات المؤمنين وعلى ذريته إلى يوم الدين. سبحانك اللهم لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا اللهم علما وعملا متقبلا آمين يا رب العالمين. وبالإسناد المتصل إلى الإمام المحدث أبي بكر محمد بن الحسين الأجري الشافعي رحمه الله تعالى ونفعنا به وبكم آمين. قال في كتابه الغرباء من المؤمنين Imam Abu Bakr Muhammad ibn al-Hussein al-Ajurri, Allah have mercy on him and benefit us with him, Ameen, said in his book, the strangers among the believers. وأخبرنا محمد هو الأجري قال وأنشدني أبو بكر عبد الله بن حميد المؤدب من مجزوء الرمل أيها الغافل في ظل نعيم وسرور كن غريبا واجعل الدنيا سبيلا للعبور واعدد النفس طوال الدهر من أهل القبور وارفض الدنيا ولا تركن إلى دار الغرور. O heedless one, basking in a cool shade of easy living and happiness, be a stranger and make this lower world a path for crossing, and count your life in it until it ends as one of the dwellers of the grave, and reject the life of this world. Yani put it in its place. Don't throw it, not throw it away, no, but put it in its place. Yani keep it at bay, keep it in its proper place. Cut it down to size. Don't aggrandize it like it's the be all and end all. No, it's not even yani the beginning, because if we know that it is the beginning, then we are looking forward to the end. So that's already high knowledge. But when we bask in it, we don't even have the knowledge that it is only a beginning yet. And do not tarkan, yani rest and rely on it and settle on it. Tarkan ila daril ghurur. Do not settle on the abode of delusion and illusion. قال محمد بن الحسين يعني الأجري رحمه الله, the author said, Allah have mercy on him, فإن قال قائل أيش يحتمل قول النبي صلى الله عليه وآله وصحبه وسلم كن في الدنيا كأنك غريب أو عابر سبيل. So if someone asks إيش, يعني what is that the abbreviation of أي شيء, what thing, إيش. See? So what do we call the suppression of the last or one of the first letter. What do we call that when we say, for example, Aish, Muhammad, or Fatim? Tarkhim. So Tarkhim is a slight abbreviation of the word. So Aish, it's a Tarkhim abbreviation of Ayyu Shay'in, what thing? So what thing can that statement mean? Yani, what are the different senses? The statement of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, around which revolves this whole treatise. Be in this lower life, in this lower world, as if you are a stranger or passing through. Abir Sabil, passing through, on the way. قيل له والله أعلم. The reply to the questioner is, and Allah knows best. So this is a way of, you can start your discourse, your reply with Allah knows best, or you can say that in the middle, or you can say that at the end, or all, or three, or one, or more of the above. You see? So, and Imam al-Shafi constantly uses that in his discourse. Always Allahu A'lam, Allahu A'lam, Allahu A'lam, that Allah knows best, and Allah protect me from saying something incorrect. So it is a dua and a zikr. هو الرجل الحاضر الذي قد أنعم الله عز وجل عليه فرزقه مالا وولدا سره بهما وزوجة حسناء ودارا قوراء ولباسا ناعما وطعاما طيبا. It is the person or man who is not traveling, who is in wherever he lives, residing in his residence, whom Allah has blessed and granted wealth, children, and children that he pleased him with, and a beautiful wife, and a high house, and fine clothing, and good pure food. فبينه وكذلك إذ عرض له سفر لا بد له من الخروج فيه فخرج. So as he was in such a state, then there came to him the need to travel, and he had to go out and embark on a trip. So he did go out, or set forth, and فطال به السفر وفقد جميع ما كان يلذ به وصار غريبا في بلد لا يعرف. So he went on a long trip, and he lost everything that he took pleasure in, left it behind, and he became a complete stranger in a country unrecognizable in comparison to what he recognized and knew before. Everything is new and strange and different and unfamiliar. So you can easily understand the worldly example of this and illustration of it, and also the next worldly fact that our original home is paradise. We are in this world as looking and not recognizing anything from that. And the first thing that we do when we come to this world, in literally speaking, is cry. What is this? And we hear the azan, we go and we settle. That is something of the world of the angels, from where we came. Allahu Akbar. So, فاستوحش من الغربة. He felt out of place in the world of estrangement, غربة. The state of the gharib, the state of the stranger, is estrangement, alienation. We call them alien. But we'll give you residence. You will be a resident alien. It's an actual legal category in this world. So he felt alienated in the world of estrangement. لما قاس فيها من الذل والمسكنة, because of what he experienced in it and endured in it of humiliation and of dependency. Maskana, the state of the miskin. Because you need to sakana ila shay, you need to depend and trust on something and rest upon something. You always turn for help. وحن قلبه إلى الرجوع إلى وطنه, and his heart longs to return and to be in his original place. Yani, this is something very palpable and very strong as an emotion and a state of being. When we just talk about the life of this world, imagine if we transport the discussion to the life of paradise. That then will be like, I was told, and by just thinking about it, I have goosebumps, subhanallah, of the state of Shaykh Ahmad Badawi. He had a very strong state, hal, that overtook him at times, and he could remain days on end staring like that at the sky. Days on end, not speaking to anyone, not hearing anyone, not approaching food or noticing or needing sleep. Of course, such a state, rufi al-qalam, the pen is lifted from that. So don't you dare ask, well, doesn't he go to salah? Like he doesn't know food or sleep or going to the loo or anything like that. Such a person, you ask them, get up and get dressed and do this and do that and wash and all of the amenities and duties of living. No, such a person is beyond this world. So that is this is a good illustration for longing for your original home, like that. Enough of this one, the world of estrangement. You pass through that state, such states. Allahu Akbar. So, like the story of Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam, that he said, "Oh, Musa, someone called him and said, when you next go to see your nurturing Lord, ask him to send me just an ounce of his love." And Sayyidina Musa said, I shall. And he went on, and then at the meeting went on with his nurturing Lord, and towards the end of the meeting, he heard the question. Allah said to him, have you asked me everything you need, O Musa? said, yes, woman. And he said, have you forgotten something? And he said, yes. Someone asks you for an ounce of your love. So Allah said, he asked for something great, but I will send some of what he asked. And then he went back to see him. He couldn't find the place anymore. There was a valley there now. He went down the valley and looked for the man, and there was nothing there except that the man was kneeling and he was looking at the sky like that, in a state of outward nextworthy state. So that is a story that I heard from Maulana Shaykh Hisham. So, but even in this world, if we think of the place where we grew up, the place where we were born, we call that Masqat Ra'si, the place where my head fell in Arabic. Masqat Ra'si, yani the place where the baby was born, where I was born as a baby. And then the place where you grew up and so forth. Your whole being from head to toe vibrates with the air of that place, the soil of that place, the water of that place, needs it like air, and for the diver, needs it to go back so you are intensely, attuned to that place. You cannot help it. That is the. And if there is a sea also in that place, that is your sea, more than any other sea or ocean or lake in the whole world. That one, when you approach it, you smell the air, you walk on its shore, and you enter, etc. It's all. It's like it's like your bread and your blood and your mother's milk. It's the same dimension of living and enjoyment and breathing. So you see how strong it is. But then paradise, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, asking for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself. Oh, nothing compares. So he is longing for his native place and what he is used to. And he also, anything other than that for him is humiliation and dependency, poverty. And it's not the same. وَحَنَّ قَلْبُهُ إِلَى الرُّجُوعِ إِلَى وَطَنِهِ. His heart longs and yearns to return to his native country. فَجَدَّ فِي السَّيْرِ. So he speeds up his march. همه في مسيره أن يقطع السفر بالتحري. And now he puts his whole energy in his wayfaring to cross the distance of travel with earnest urgency. تحري الصحيح من الحديث. To always urgently look and research for the sound hadith, the authentic, established hadith. This love that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put in the hearts of the people of hadith, the experts of hadith. You will not find like that, of such an instinct for recognizing and being attracted to the a sound hadith of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, just the way that we know who our children and parents are, because that is how we know the truth of the Holy Quran, and that is compared to, you know it like you know your own children. So in the same way, the scholars of hadith and the awliya of hadith, they said that hadith has the sound hadith has a special nur exclusive to it, that they see it. They see the nur of nubuwah on it, nur of prophethood on it. And the Holy Prophet ﷺ said, and when you are attracted to a hadith that you feel I have said it, and you long for it and love it, you must know that I said it. But if something is presented to you that is hair raising to you, and that you do not recognize as something that I would say that I am farther away even from you are in relation to it. So yani, trust that. So this is one of the hadiths of the Holy Prophet ﷺ that supports the kashf of the awliya concerning the authenticity of hadith. No. So taharri, يعني looking urgently and searching urgently for something. فطعامه اليسير مما فيه كفايته. So طعامه اليسير مبتدأ خبر. So his food is whatever little sustenance is enough for to cover his need. فيه كفايته كفاية. So اللهم اجعل رزق آل محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم قوتا. يعني والله make the sustenance of the family of Muhammad صلى الله عليه وسلم just what is enough. Dua of the Holy Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم. So for the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, look, in his whole life, and he was making dua for it, to have the food of what? Of a traveler that is doesn't have time to enjoy, because he's on his way to go home, like that. But he asked for it like all life long, like that. That was his dua. That's why he said to the Sahaba, I am not afraid for you of poverty for you. I'm afraid, on the contrary, of wealth for you, because I'm afraid that you will be vying over dunya. Subhanallah. In one of his hadiths, so he was saying, ليس الفقر أخاف عليكم أو ليس من الفقر أخاف عليكم أو كما قال. And he said, this is like a guarantee that there will always be wealth for you. That is not something that you should fear that Allah will deny you to have your sustenance. But ask for your sustenance and just be thankful for that. So kifaya and qut. وَلِبَاسُهُ الْحَقِيرُ لِمَا يَسْتُرُ بِهِ عَوْرَتَهُ. And his garment, his clothing is whatever insignificant or nondescript garment, he just needs to cover his nakedness. And there is a saying that the Sufis say that yani the Sufi who cares too much about his appearance is not a Sufi. Right? So must not care too much, but what is enough to consider the person is decent and respectful also of the environment where they live. Because going to the opposite extreme also is a kind of shuhra. Or look at me, how modest I am, how simple living I am. So it's like I'm a zahid. I am now advertising my zuhud. That's the opposite extreme also of showing off. So showing off is two-edged. It's like a two-edged sword, showing off the wealth and showing off the zahid in me, you know. But that is still wealth talking, love of wealth talking. So enough. لباسه الحقير, يعني whatever insignificant garment, but it covers his عورة. جل ما يحمل معه جرابه وركوته, يعني at most what he carries with him is his جراب, يعني the knapsack, that contains his provision for the travel, the provision of safar, travel, وركوته, and his cup or his flask of water. Sayyidina Isa alayhi salam, it is related from him that he only had two things other than his thawb that he wore, his qamis. He had a comb and he had a cup. That's it. One day he saw a man drinking from a spring with his two hands cupped like that. So the water comes in like that, and he drinks it from the bottom of his palms. And I hope you all experience that. It is one of the most beautiful yani, experiences, the life of a believer, to receive water from a spring from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that Allah created, comes out of the earth, and drink it like that with no intermediary other than your poor hands, slave of Allah, cupped like in prayer, drinking it like that. So he threw away his cup. He saw that example, said, I don't need it then. And he saw another time a man just combing his beard like that, so he threw away his comb also. I don't need it. I can just use my fingers. So just to show, he was a traveler. Prophets are all travelers like that. After their father, Sayyidina Adam alayhi salam. See, so traveler back to their home. Allahu Akbar. And we are in their wake, and we are their followers. يكابد السهر ليقطع عنه شدة آلام السفر, fighting the wakefulness, and fighting the fatigue of sleeplessness, in order to cross the distance of travel and the hardships of the pains of travel. That's why they call it safar. What is safar? As we said before, tafsir. What is tafsir? Fassara al-shay' and safara. They are like etymological brothers, they call them, because they are close in form and close in meaning. To uncover for me the meaning of that thing. Give me its tafsir. فسر عن الخيل. He made tafsir of the horse, meaning he removed the saddle or even the saddle cloth. So riding bareback, for example, or just to let the horse rest from it. And so uncover, and then safara, safiran, a woman who does sufur and she is safira, that means uncover. Safira means an uncovered woman. So Safar was called Safar because it uncovers what? It uncovers the nature of a human being, what they can endure, so that's why they say you don't know a person until you travel with them for a mile. Travel with them for 10 miles, for 100 miles, so forth. So that shows the true character of the person. Are they enduring? Are they sabir? Are they mutawakkil? Are they sakhi, generous, etc.? Subhanallah. Hadith Sharif. السفر قطعة من العذاب. We read it in the 40 hadiths of through Ahl al-Bayt with a single chain. The one-line hadiths. السفر قطعة من العذاب. Travel is a piece of punishment. So we don't expect luxury and comfort from travel. Subhanallah. Now you have people that they arrange the best accommodations even for the safar of holy pilgrimage to the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is one, if not the first, of their principal concerns. Where am I going to be, putting up in a hotel and shopping and this and that, and that's not what. So the book of travel of Imam Ghazali, full of wonders about the examination of the niyyah of safar. At the opposite extreme, Maulana Shaykh Nazim. I was traveling and I had no money in my pocket. Sifat Darwish, he would call it. Sifat Darwish, or Darwish Sifat, he would say. Turkish style. Darwish Sifat. Yani the way Darwish is, the way the Sufi relying on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is. It's not for everyone like that. No. But awliya, after all of their endurance and all of their, and then the permission is given, then they may be like that. Like people who would go into the desert, for example, on the way to Mecca, on foot, without provision, not for everyone. So some young men who were going on pilgrimage asked one of the early Sufis, I think Bishr al-Hafi or someone like that, of that big caliber, like, come with us, we would like you to come with us to Hajj. And he said, but if I come, then you have to travel according to my conditions. And he said, what? He said, nothing in your pocket. They found it too difficult. And they were right. Unless they trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then they trust in His wali that brought them to His door in the first place and inspired them. And if they embrace that, then they will fall under that same protection that He falls under. And there's room for one, there's room for more. Sabirun ala al-balwa, enduring steadfastly all the trials. لا يعرج في مسيره على شيء من أمور الدنيا غير ما فيه بعض كفايته. Never لا يعرج, يعني never paying attention and turning and going after during his wayfaring or his trip anything of the matters and the wares of this world, except what there is that wherein is some of his needs. Some of his need. من الثمرات رزقا لكم. Give you of the thamarat. And thamarat is even the plural of fruit is a plural of paucity in that noble verse of Surah Al-Baqarah. الذي, what is the verse? ثم نزل من السماء ماء وأخرج به, yeah, and he, with the water that he sent down from the sky for you, وأخرج به من الثمرات رزقا لكم, and he brought out with it of, يعني of, not all, of, some, يعني some of the few fruits. So look, there are two remotes here of minimizing it. Subhanallah. Min, يعني partitive, so here he uses that here, the partitive. بعض كفايته, it's a partitive, يعني part of his basic need, part, not even all of his basic need, part of his basic need, and he skips the other, he just ignores it or forgets it. So, and thamarat instead of thimar, thamarat, a few fruits. It's a plural of paucity, يعني the poor, the poor plural, the lesser plural, because you know Arabic has many plurals, and you can have the plural of the plural too in Arabic. Subhanallah, such a language that's so rich. قد لهي, his mind is elsewhere. His mind is elsewhere. قد لهي عن كل شيء له فيه لذة, يعني he's distracted away from everything in which he takes pleasure, because he's not there yet. ينام بالليل في الأدوية والشعاب, في الأودية, في الأودية والشعاب. At night he sleeps where? In the wadis. What's the wadi? It's an English word, but it's from the Arabic wadi, the valleys, in the vales and the mountain gorges, like Shi'ab, Shi'ab Ali, Shi'ab Abi Talib, the mountain gorge where his retreat is, his fortress is, mountain gorge, a place where they can find a cave or some protection away from the elements and the animals and the human beings who are intent on harm, brigands. ينام بالليل في الأودية والشعاب ويقيل بالنهار. What's يقيل? قال يقيل, to take a nap, a siesta. قال, like to say, يقيل, not like يقول. يقيل is the مضارع, to take a nap. In the daylight, في فيافي الجبال والشجر على التراب. فيافي, so the plural of في. So تعال اجلس في الفي, in the shade, sit in the shade. So he naps in the daylight in the shades of mountains and trees on top of the dust. Doesn't care, because this is temporary, and then later you can go back to your usual Egyptian linen on soft padded mattresses. وإذا مر بما تهواه النفوس لم يعرج عليه, and then whenever passing by what usually normal يعني living people and all people and nufus crave and like a lot, لم يعرج عليه, he doesn't pay any attention to it, doesn't stop there. يحادث نفسه بالصبر عنه, tells himself to endure and do without it, because you have a priority, you have a mission, you are on a mission. يقول لها, and he says to himself, to his nafs, حتى أبلغ مستقري, not until I reach my place of settlement. فأمنحك ما تحبين, and then I will lavish on you whatever you like. I will grant you what you love at that time, but not before. You see, like the state of fasting, mashallah. And the state of fasting, that time, even if we see the most craved food of our whole life that we have not had since so many years, for example, that we were not even thinking about, and it's presented to us in its best aspect, it's like nothing, zero. Allahu Akbar. Such is the power of Allah's gifts in the fasting month, that allows even addicted people to give up what they are addicted to, like smokers. They are able, of all the months of the year, in that month to seriously pursue giving up that, and they do in that month, because there is zahir and batin support. Zahir of the society, that is the strength of the jama'ah, subhanallah, and the batin, the spiritual support that helps them to do that, subhanallah. So that is what he tells his nafs. And إذا أجهده السير يبكي بحرقة ويئن بزفرة. So when he is pushed to the edge by his trip, أجهده, يعني beyond what he can endure, or almost beyond, he cries hot tears, ويئن بزفرة, and moans with يعني moaning of longing and sobbing. So Zafra is actually a Quranic cognate. Zafir, the wheezing of the flames of hellfire. ويختنق بعبره, and chokes on his tears. لا يجفو على من جفا عليه. He is not rude back to whoever is rude to him. ولا يؤاخذ من آذاه, and he does not take to task whoever harms him. It is yours to do. It is yours. So you are forgiven. That is the meaning of, there is a dua that says, Allahumma habli jurmi. What's this? Habli jurmi. Grant me my crime. Jurm, from jarima. That is a dua that is associated to the month of Ramadan from one of the pious people. Habli jurmi. In other words, it means yani, forgive my sin, forgive my crime. Habli jurmi, forgive my crime. So لا يؤاخذ من آذاه ولا يبالي بمن جاهله, and he does not pay attention to whoever ignores him also, or jahilahu, whoever treats him the way an ignorant person treats another. He does not mind. As opposed to someone who will say, do you know who I am? How you treat me? Don't you know who I am? And so forth. So you will find that the one that is downtrodden, that is ignored, that is considered that, and they will say, oh, I only know him as the mosque water server. He serves water. I never saw him doing other than that. He's the qutb actually, the qutb of the time. Allahu Akbar. Subhanallah. لقد هان عليه في غربته جميع أمور الدنيا. All of the issues of the world are easy for him to bear with. هين meaning light, very light, as opposed to ثقيل, هين. And then, so the example, be هين لين, be هين لين, be easy and soft, be easy and soft, and then people will love you. حتى يقطع السفر ويرد الحضر, until he will cross the distance of travel and then arrive and alight at the place of residence, al-Hadr. So he will be Hadir at that time, the resident. Hadir as opposed to Musafir. And then another meaning of Hadir is present as opposed to Ghaib. Hadir, Ghaib, absent. And Yarida, the mudari of Warada. Warada. That we use also for coming to the water. Coming to the water. Warad al-ma. And warid is also the spiritual inspiration that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends to your heart, either directly or through the angel or through wali. That's the warid, plural waridat. فقيل لهذا المؤمن العاقل الذي يريد الآخرة. So the answer then to this intelligent believer who is pursuing and asking about, and he wants the hereafter, the akhirah, the answer to them is وَيَشْنَأُ الدُّنْيا, and he despises and he looks down on the life of this world. He puts it in its place. He considers it not his friend, but something to beware, like danger there, danger zone. كن في الدنيا مثل هذا الغريب, be in this world like this stranger. لا يعرج إلا على ما قل وكفى. He does not turn and to try to take except what is little and what is enough, what suffices. وقد ترك ما كثر وألهى, and he has certainly left and given up and quit what is a lot and distracts. What is a lot and distracts. فإنك إذا فعلت ذلك كنت غريبا كعابر سبيل. And so if you do that, you will be a stranger just passing through, travel. حتى ترد الآخرة, until you come to the place of drinking in the hereafter. May Allah grant us that, and the basin and pond of the Holy Prophet ﷺ to drink from his noble hand, drink that will quench our thirst forever, and after that never be thirsty again. Amen. وأنت مخف من الدنيا, and you all this time, during all that time, be مخف من الدنيا. مخف, hidden. Hide yourself from this world. Make yourself invisible to this world. Though this Qutb, he made himself invisible right before the eyes of his contemporaries, including the knowers of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala themselves. They don't know him. Allah gives the power to awliya that he loves to completely hide themselves to everyone, their blood brothers, or spouses, or parents, children, murids, and so forth. If they want, they will make themselves so as to be completely transparent, invisible to them, and they will think of them as someone ordinary after all. Subhanallah. So Dr. Booty, Allahu Akbar, turning to Sheikh Shukri Lahafi Luhafi and saying to him, where have you been? How come we do not know you from before this time? In his old age, in a meeting of the 7 most prominent Qari of Damascus, Quranic reciters, and Sheikh Shukri was one of them. And Dr. Booty was astonished that he had never heard of him before. Allahu Akbar. Oh. So, it reminded me of the story that I already mentioned of Sufyan al-Thawri looking at Dawood al-Ta'i in his house with the roof missing, part of the roof missing, because he was living on the beams of the roof, and selling little by little, because he was too engaged in ibadah, no longer engaged in teaching or traveling or going out or marrying or whatever. It's just ibadah. So Sufyan al-Thawri was considered the Zahid of his time. He said, that is Zuhud. So don't call me Zahid anymore. This is Zuhud. So he was beyond. Allahu Akbar. So he's saying, at least try to do like that. And the wasiyah of our shuyukh is, Maulana Shaykh Nazim said, try to be one of the rays of the sun of your Shaykh. Try to represent in something, if only one ray. If you cannot be the sun itself, because they think, I am a Khalifa, I'm given Khilafah, therefore I am like the Shaykh, I am like... the Shaykh is like Imam Ahmad was describing Imam al-Shafi, the sun for creation. He is like the sun for creation because of what he gave in this short life of his, barely mid-50s, and Allah took him back. So at least be a sun ray. At least be a sun ray. So you represent, so that when people look at you, trying to represent yourself through the mirror of your Shaykh, if they do not become dazed as if looking at the sun, because you are not at that level of the Shaykh that you mirror, still they will see the Shaykh, because you are bringing one ray of the sun of his light, or light of his sun. One ray is definitely there in you, and because you are mentioning his name, you are quoting his words. So that is what they now can benefit from, and they are connected in turn with what the Shaykh was connected to, or meaning the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is no small matter. So, hidden from dunya, present with Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, awliya Allah, present with your Shaykh, present with Akhirah, present with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Isn't that the real life? Definitely. So that's what it takes, because they don't coexist together at the same level. They cannot. One is going to be strong, the other will be weak, or vice versa. Like Hakim at-Tirmidhi said of the nafs and the ruh. You strengthen your ruh, nafs must be brought down. That's what the purpose of Ramadan is. So that the nafs will not be tagha like a tyrant over you. No. And then you are ready for more and more ready for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the people say, كل عام وأنتم بخير. But awliya, what they say كل عام وأنتم إلى الله أقرب. May each year come and you and I are closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. حتى ترد الآخرة وأنت مخف من الدنيا, until you come to the abode and the drinking place of the hereafter while you are hidden, safely hidden from dunya. حينئذ تحمد عواقب الصبر في جميع ما نالك من المشقة في سفرك. At that time you shall be praising and giving thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the consequences and the aftermath of sabr, yani the fruits of sabr, the fruits of endurance. At that time you will see them before your eyes and you will be, I was right to have sabr. And in all of what has happened to you of yani reverses and of things that you had to endure, and of the hardship in your travel of life, wallahu a'lam, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين.